So yesterday was actually my friend's birthday, and we ended up going to the pub because it was his 18th and he can drink now, so what better way to celebrate than to go to the pub. In the end, I did end up getting quite drunk last night. I had a few Jaeger bombs, which is essentially like Jägermeister, which is a type of liqueur, I'm pretty sure, and then Red Bull at the same time, and it's got like a shot glass in the Red Bull. So it's like the shot glass has the Jägermeister in it, and then that's in the Red Bull. I'm pretty sure most of you guys will know what it is, but in case you're a clinical moron, there you go. And we had a few of those, had some sours. Basically, it was a sick night, essentially. So happy birthday, mate, if you're watching this. Hopefully you had a good one. But yeah, today I thought I'd bring back something I have not done for nearly 2 years at this point, and that's kind of weird to think about. Like, I've not done something like this for 2 years. I've always wanted to do it on this channel, but I never kind of got round to it. But essentially, this was kind of like my main focus on my Cosmicctf channel, if you guys remember that. And yeah, it was really good fun to make those videos. I decided that I would pick a rather interesting one and recreate it for this video, so hopefully you guys enjoy. So essentially, what this I don't know, brand of content is life stories, and today we are going to be telling a pretty, well, it's probably the best one to start out with as a life story. I'm pretty sure that this is kind of like the go-to story for most people. I do have a lot of other stories from that channel that I want to tell over here, because obviously I have, like, I think nearly 30 more subscribers on here than I did on Cosmicctf, and we are so close to 50 subs now. It's actually insane. I'm not even too sure when you're seeing this video, to be honest, so we might have actually hit it. Even if we have hit 50 by this time, make sure you still subscribe anyway, because I'm on the road to 100, baby, and I want to reach there by the end of the year. I did say, for example, that I'd jump off a bridge if I hit 100 subscribers, which I'm probably not going to do in the winter because I don't want to fucking die. But anyway, enough rambling now, and we're going to jump straight into this today's story. And it's going to be a pretty crazy one. Hopefully you guys will stick around. And that is the first time I ever smoked weed. Marijuana, the devil's lettuce, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's a pretty interesting story, so let's begin. So this story takes place on Halloween night 2018, and it was kind of in a period where I didn't really do anything for Halloween at this point. I was just kind of like, yeah, it's just another night, really, because I stopped trick-or-treating when I was like 12, and I wasn't quite old enough to like start going to parties. Well, actually, I say old enough, but it's probably more like popular enough. Essentially, we were just like, I don't really do anything on Halloween, so one of my friends, one of my really good friends whose birthday it was, that I shouted out at the start of the video, we're going to name him Calvin for convenience purposes. That's obviously not his real name, but hey-ho. But Calvin rings me up and he's like, oi, do you want to go out into town? There's a good few people going, and we're going to get some like alcohol off people's parents, or whatever we liberate from like our parents' fridges and etc, etc. And I'm like, yeah, sure, that sounds like a lot of fun. And there was this one guy that I don't really talk to anymore, and he got like a whole crate of beer. Like, if you don't know, a crate's pretty fucking big. Like, if you get a crate of cider, like Dark Fruit's Strongbow, you can get for about a tenner, I believe, and that's 10 cans. But beer crates tend to be a lot bigger. They're like 24 sometimes, and that's honestly like ridiculous. We had a 24 crate of beer, and then this other guy brought a bottle of, I think it was syrup. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, it's basically like really fruity stuff. And we were pretty much set for the night. Also, we fought. But yeah, after we've got all the stuff, we end up heading off to the place we call the Haunted Forest. And essentially, it's just a forest about a mile away from town. And we used to think it was haunted and like really scary. And we used to try and make like really shit urbex videos there. But yeah, it's not haunted. It's actually not that scary. We've been there a lot because there's like a bridge that you can make a fire pit under, and it's actually really fucking cool. Like, especially in the winter, you can go have this fire and actually like be warm for once, which is, you know, a completely unheard of concept for the middle of winter. But we get to the Haunted Forest and the sesh begins. But yeah, we get there, we start drinking, and we basically just start having a good laugh between like some of the boys, and then there's a few girls there as well. But yeah, after about 2 or 3 hours, we run out of alcohol, and we're like, what the fuck are we meant to do now? Because Moronically, we had decided to stay out for the entire night without any sleep or place to stay, essentially, and we were just like, yeah, well, that was a fucking stupid move. And we were just planning to stay out the whole night in town and just kind of like vibe, essentially. With all the alcohol we had, we thought we were going to have a lot more and it would last us a lot longer. But my friends drink a lot, so it was gone pretty damn quickly. So we end up walking back to town and we were going to go grab a takeaway when one of the girls decides, wait, you know where... Oh, I'm going to have to think of a name here. Let's call this guy Steve. So this girl brings up, oh, you know Steve usually has weed. And now I have never... Well, at this point in time, I had never tried weed before. I was kind of like, oh shit, that sounds too hard for me. I was kind of a bit straight edge back in the day. Complete opposite of what I am now, but basically I'm like, wow, that's really hard stuff. Are you sure you want to be doing that? Which, if you know anything about weed, it really fucking isn't that hard shit. I was just there like, yeah, you guys can do that. I'm just not going to smoke any. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. So they ring up Steve and ask him to sort a 10 bag. And if you don't know, a 10 bag is 1 gram. So just for a bit of context. And Steve rocks up, we pay him, and he gives us the weed. And he was like, oh, do you guys know how to roll? And since it was our first time for everyone, none of us knew how to fucking roll. So we had to ask this guy to roll. And we ended up sat there having a good chat with him. He's actually a really sound guy. And we just sat there just chatting to him while he was rolling. And he actually had some of the spliff with us, which was pretty damn fun. So we had 2, and we ended up smoking them both right then and there, which probably wasn't a great idea, to be quite honest. We should have probably saved it. And the first one's gone really quickly, because it is going between, like, I think 6 people at this point in time. A few people had left from before. So when the second spliff comes around, I decide that I would give it a try, just because I wanted to know what it felt like, what being high was actually like. So I get the spliff, and I take a good, like, 3 drags on it or something. Now, this is for me starting smoking weed. I'd never fucking touched weed before, so 3 drags, 3 proper drags, I should say, for an asthmatic as well. It's pretty fucking good. So we were there, we didn't notice anything at first, we left and we started walking around town. And then, after about maybe 10-20 minutes, that's when people start to feel it, and we all start feeling, like, really giggly and that. And I just remember some of the shit that happened that night. Like, one of my friends almost fell off a wall, and it was just the funniest thing ever. Like, he lost his balance and just fell off, nearly. He, like, managed to save it at the last second, and we just thought it was the fucking funniest shit ever. But yeah, throughout the entire night, we're just kind of, like, vibing until, like, maybe 1, 2. That's when the come down hits us really hard, and we're like, shit. This is depressing now. We haven't got anything and we're just going to have to sit here all night doing fuck all. And yeah, we go sit outside Booths, which, if you don't know, Booths is a supermarket chain in the northwest of England. And there's like a public footpath outside the Booths in our town. And we just sat there for like 2 hours, just not even like really talking to each other. We were just kind of like on our phones, looking at Snapchat, etc., like kind of collecting pictures from the night as well, because whenever I go out, my phone always dies now, so I'm always like trying to get pictures of other people, and essentially that's what was happening. And not really much else happened for the rest of the night, other than the fact we hid in a fucking public toilet, one of those you have to actually pay for, to actually get some warmth, because we were absolutely freezing, because obviously it would have been 1st of November as this was happening, and we were like, yeah, winter is definitely closing in, let's hide in the toilet. So just watching this back in post, I was kind of having like a few more thoughts about what I should include in this video, and I think I should actually kind of explain how it affected me, because I just kind of glossed over that in the actual video, and then, you know, I just really forgot about it, to be honest. But essentially, when I first smoked it, I didn't really feel anything for like 10-20 minutes, and then it was only a light buzz. Like, I can't say I was properly high off that, like, at all, really. I was just kind of like lightly buzzed, and I think that's kind of what most people were, except my good buddy Calvin, who was absolutely just in his fucking element. The man's like a massive druggie. That's kind of like his nickname among my group of friends anyway. So he was just there, absolutely in his element. He had a good time. I can't exactly remember too much of like the effects and that, but I can remember like when I had been like properly high, which I wasn't properly high this time. Sometimes where I've been properly high, which one was just like the other week at this point. I think it was 2 weeks ago now. And we went out to a place called Gisborne Forest in Yorkshire. Well, it's near Yorkshire, and we ended up having quite a few spliffs there. And on the way home, I was literally feeling like just ridiculously high, and I hadn't been high for ages at this point. And I had a spliff yesterday at the pub. I know, very illegal, but yeah, that was a lot better than the first time. I think that's kind of like a common theme for most people. The first time is usually pretty shit when it comes to weed, and then like the more you smoke, the better it becomes, until it gets to a point where your tolerance is ridiculously high and you have to smoke like a fucking Q just to actually feel something, which some of my friends were at that point, and then you just take a tolerance break anyway. So, but yeah, back to what I was actually feeling. It was kind of just like a light buzz in a sense, if you get what I mean. Like, I know, I felt like the edge was off things. I didn't fucking, like, I don't know, see aliens or some shit. It was just kind of like a chilled out, very mellowed out, I'll say, kind of experience. I was just kind of like chilling, vibing, having a good laugh with my mates, and it was actually a really good time. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe. If you want more stories like this, I do have quite a vast selection at this moment in time. I'm trying to remake all of my Cosmicctf stories, because they were a bit shit in my opinion. Hopefully this one was alright. But yeah, if you want to see some more stories, let me know down in the comments and leave a like. Obviously, we are 1 subscriber away from 50 at this moment in time, so please subscribe. It really does mean a lot. Obviously, if you don't enjoy the content at a later date, you can always unsubscribe, and also make sure you turn on post notifications, because we all know how retarded YouTube is. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. It is confirmed, Quinton is now a stoner.